This is fantastic. I just love this. I think that this has so much potential. You're almost there, definitely. A couple of things I'm noticing off the get here is that basically what you're doing is you're giving the name in this really super interesting ECG readout, and but then your other information is scattered. It's kind of just scattered in each of the three of the four corners. What is this doing? This is basically you're telling your viewer that these things, by proximity and placement, you're telling your viewer that these three things are not related and that these three things are not related to the main element. And that's, again, by sheer proximity. Grouping these things will allow the viewer to know that these are all related and that that group, let's say if it's placed right here or so, that that group indeed is related to the main subject. Okay, so plus what you would be doing is you would be stopping the number of visual stops from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the name and then the group of types. So it would be from 5 to 2, and that of course is much preferable. The Willem itself looks good. I'm a little concerned about the difference in stroke size. Look at the difference between the I right there and the W is pretty. It's profound. And then over here, I think that WILL and the M all look great. The E it's just not there. And we can see the same thing over here. EIN and then the TH are really crowded together. And then it just kind of loses it from there. Another thing I'm noticing is that a lot of your letter forms are on different, you're at a different stress angle than the actual EKG. This one actually looks like it's going back that way. This one's definitely going straight up and up and down. Then we have, then you start kind of shifting. What if we get some irregularity in here? I'm sorry, if we could eliminate the irregularity through there and establish some regularity, one of the things I would suggest is maybe you could simplify this area, the actual readout of the ECG, so that you can make your letter forms a little more simple. And take some liberties with this. I mean, the main thing is we need to make a connection between the ECG readout and the name. And the name, of course, should be readable, as it is. Willem, except for the E, is readable. But EINTH, and then it just kind of gets lost from there. Okay, look, I'm just going to suggest something here. Okay, so I know this is what a readout would look like, and I don't know if you're going for like a really super vintage look, because I know that this was a 1924 prize. But I'm wondering if it might be fascinating, or at least really add another layer of visual interest and conceptual interest to maybe connect this with the modern, 2017 readout of an ECG, which is something like this, because they're on screen now. So I'm wondering if that might be a neat way to go. Plus, this is just much more visually appealing than the old readout. And I brought some readouts up. Where are they? Here they are right here. I brought some other readouts up, and I can see that there's a bunch of different ways that they show these readouts. A lot of them I'm seeing are like yours on just a black grid, a gray grid. Some of them on red grids. But I just thought that this was pretty fascinating right here. I think that has a lot of potential, especially that grid in the background is really, really interesting. I think that's really something you might consider right there. But first and foremost, I would group your information. I don't even think you need this on the front. If you get his name legible, you don't even need to put his name or like this, the badge, the medal or whatever. You don't need that. That we can get rid of. I'm thinking you could just get rid of this and just discovering the electrocardiogram within that grid somewhere. I think that might be really super interesting, because that way you're clearing up and creating some nice negative space so that the viewer can just concentrate on this wonderful typography. Okay, don't think you need the red. I know, I really don't. I think it's overkill. But that would be my recommendation. This would be easy enough to try to duplicate that in Photoshop. Anyway, food for thought. Okay, great job, though. I'm loving where you're going. Concept is just solid as could be. All right, any questions at all? Let me know, John. Thanks. Good job.